Xbox Game Pass is widely regarded as one of, if not the best deals in gaming. Boasting a library of 400 titles including every single Microsoft first-party game, it can sometimes be overwhelming deciding on what you want to play. My name is Harry for Gamers Watch, and today we're going to have a very quick look at the 7 best games under 1 GB on Xbox Game Pass. And as always, if you enjoy this video, then please do hit that like button and feel free to subscribe to us here at Gamers Watch. Undertale. Toby Fox's 2D RPG Undertale is one of the most charming and unique games in recent years that has carved out somewhat of a cult following. The story is of a young child who's fallen into the sprawling depths of the underground, a world of horror and whimsy hidden below the surface of the earth. From its story, its unique art style and its combat, this is a game that takes traditional mechanics and turns them on their head, the latter of those being the most prominent, with witty characters, hilarious set plays and fantastic bosses that, dependent on your playstyle, can change the ending of this game wildly. Sans and Papyrus are 2 fantastic characters that I'm sure are waiting for you in the underground. Harrion. Described by developers Phobia Game Studios as a reverse horror, Harrion lets you take control of a putrid tentacle monster, smashing, killing and severing its way through a secret military facility. As you progress through the winding vents, murdering literally every single human that you come across, you'll find dissected pieces of your genetic code, and also hidden in the game are flashbacks that reveal the origin of the monster that you play. This isn't just a game of murdering everyone you see, although that's a large part of it. It also has a very compelling narrative behind it. Harrion strikes a really delicate balance of stealth, action and disgustingly satisfying movement that come together in a way that feels like no other game that we've played in recent years. Give it a try and unleash your inner monster. Unpacking. Winner of the coveted Gamers Watch 2021 Best Narrative Award, and also apparently a BAFTA, Unpacking is a simple premise. On the surface, this is a game where you simply take things out of boxes and unpack. However, this game tells an honestly beautiful story through the mechanic of simply unpacking your possessions, going from your early childhood through to adulthood, showing love, loss and personal growth using nothing more than empty cardboard boxes. What starts as somewhat of a simple puzzle game evolves into something utterly spectacular, and it is something that is not only endearing but relatable to a large amount of people that play this game. Hidden within this simple game is an unforgettable story that everyone should experience. We cannot recommend this game enough. Slay the Spire. It seems like every other indie game these days is a roguelike, and it takes a lot to stand out above the rest of the crowd. But that's exactly what Slay the Spire does. This card game come roguelike is one of the most utterly addictive games that you're likely to find on Game Pass, and thanks to the addition of xCloud, it can be played via touch controls on pretty much any device. Trust me, I've played it on my fridge. If you're someone who's played games like Hearthstone or Pokemon the trading card game or Yu-Gi-Oh, then a lot of the simple mechanics cross over, but as the levels progress, the rewards become more enticing and the random bosses and mob encounters become so much more intense. This game is punishingly difficult in the later stages, but it encourages multiple playthroughs to learn the best styles for each individual mob. This is a game that you could spend 20 minutes on to kill some time before a flight, or you could just use up the entire 16 hours as you fly from London to Australia. It really is that good. This game's art and aesthetics look simple, but trust me, the gameplay is anything but. Donut County. Have you ever wanted to play a video game as a raccoon trying to destroy an entire city so that you can buy a quadcopter by creating ever-expanding sinkholes that eventually engulf an entire city with all of your friends and belongings? Ben Esposito has made the anti-Katamari Damacy, basically, with an endlessly charming puzzle game born from a joke and refined during a games jam. A 100% run won't take much longer than about 3 hours, but during that time you'll meet a host of creative and charming characters who you'll subsequently drop into oblivion as you shatter their entire world in front of their very eyes and destroy everything that they've ever loved. We spoke about this game in a previous episode of Gamers Watch podcast where we really genuinely loved it and praised its unique art style, its simple and fluid controls, and most of all, its stellar soundtrack. At less than half a gigabyte, it is a great game to pick up and almost anyone can enjoy it. BanjoKazooie. Ever had the urge to flip the bird at a witch? Well, in BanjoKazooie, you can literally do just that. This entry feels like a bit of a cheat because it is part of the Rare Replay collection, which does come in at almost, well, a lot more than 1 gigabyte. But it can be downloaded separately, so it's making the list. I'll be honest, this is one of my favourite games of all time, and although it hasn't aged fantastically well, it's still a game that you can get endless hours of fun out of. Do I really need to explain what this game is about? It's arguably Rare's most famous character duo, Don't Tell Conkers, and they made their debut back in 1997 in Diddy Kong Racing, but it was with the launch of 1998's BanjoKazooie that this duo cemented their place in the Gaming Hall of Fame. One of the very best collectathons of all time, hop on those rose-tinted specs and go and give Banjo another go. Flynn Son of Crimson. Would it even be a Gamers Watch video if we didn't mention this game? This is actually a game that we nearly completely missed out on if not for our Game Pass All Play series where I flippantly asked Duncan to play this one week. But what Studio Thunderhorse have actually done with this beautiful platformer is make a game that takes the best of the retro games that we all pretend to love and modernises it in a way that has genuinely created one of the best platformers of the past 10 or 15 years. The game follows Flynn and his trusty magical canine sidekick Dex as they embark on a story of discovery and conflict in order to save the world from an evil power that is taking over control of his home. Satisfying combat, beautiful visuals, a soundtrack that accompanies the entire aesthetic of the game to absolute perfection, and a bloody big dog called Dex. What is there not to love exactly? Flynn Son of Crimson is a genuine delight from start to finish, and we cannot recommend this game enough. And we really hope that if you haven't already played this, that it's in your download queue as we speak. And there we go, that is the definitive list of the Xbox Game Pass games that are under 1 gigabyte that you should all go and play as chosen by Gamers Watch. If you enjoyed what you watched here, then be sure to like this video, subscribe to Gamers Watch Podcast here on YouTube, and hit the notification bell to keep up to date with all of our gaming content, including our Gamers Watch podcast. And until next time, keep on gaming.